In 2017, there will be about 62,130 new cases of leukemia. But if you learn the causes of leukemia and how to fix them, you have a better chance of surviving. So today I'm going to talk about leukemia. The first part of this video will address the signs of leukemia and how it manifests. In the second part of this presentation, you will discover what causes leukemia. So let's learn what leukemia cancer is. Leukemia or blood cancer is cancer of the blood cells. Blood cancer starts in the bone marrow, the soft tissue inside most bones. Bone marrow is where the body makes blood cells. Blood has three types of cells. White blood cells help your body fight infection. Red blood cells carry oxygen to all parts of your body. And platelets help you clot the blood when you are bleeding. So every day the bone marrow produces billions of new blood cells, most of them red blood cells. So when you have leukemia cancer, your body makes more white blood cells than it needs. So the bone marrow starts to make a lot of abnormal white blood cells called leukemia cells. So they don't do the work of normal white blood cells. And they grow faster than regular cells and won't stop growing when they should. So over time, leukemia cells can crowd out the healthy blood cells. So this can lead to serious problems such as anemia, bleeding, and infection. So leukemia cells can also spread to the lymph nodes or other organs and cause swelling or pain. As more cancer cells grow, they crowd out space in the blood. Therefore, they impede the function and growth of healthy white blood cells. So these leukemia cells can't fight infection the way normal white cells do. And because there are so many of them, they start to affect the way your major organs function. So there are not enough red blood cells to supply oxygen to the cells, or sufficient healthy white blood cells to fight infection, or enough platelets to clot the blood. So there are two main types of white blood cells in your body, lymphoid cells and myeloid cells. So leukemias can happen in either type. So experts group leukemia in two ways. First, they determine how fast it develops and gets worse. They put them in one of two categories, acute or chronic. Acute leukemia happens when most of the abnormal blood cells stay premature, so they can't carry out normal function and worsen fast. Chronic leukemia happens when there are some immature cells together with normal cells. That means it gets bad but slower. The other way experts classify leukemia is the type of blood cell involved, usually myeloid or lymphoid. The four most common types of leukemia are acute lymphocytic leukemia, chronic lymphocytic leukemia, acute myeloid leukemia, and chronic myeloid leukemia. So acute lymphocytic leukemia is the most common type of leukemia in children, but also affects adults. In this kind of leukemia, immature lymphoid cells grow fast in the blood. It affects over 6,000 people per year in the US. So acute myeloid leukemia involves the rapid growth of myeloid cells. It occurs in both adults and children and affects about 21,000 people each year in the US. Chronic lymphocytic leukemia is a slow-growing cancer of lymphoid cells. It usually afflicts people over 55 years of age and about 20,000 individuals in the US every year. Chronic myeloid leukemia affects adults and occurs in about 8,950 people each year in the US. So leukemia is the most common childhood cancer but appears more in adults. Blood cancer is a bit more common in men than women. Signs of leukemia include excessive sweating, especially at night, fatigue and weakness that don't go away with rest, unintentional weight loss, bone pain and tenderness, painless swollen lymph nodes, especially in the neck and armpits, enlargement of the liver or spleen, red spots on the skin, bleeding and bruising easily, fever or chills, and frequent infection. So let's talk what causes leukemia and what you can do about it. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is stress and emotional problems. The effect of stress on the development of cancer is often overlooked. So when the body and mind are in a state of balance and unity, you experience good health. So most people do not feel a sense of perfect harmony and manifest disease. So cancer patients often faced isolation in childhood. Many of them had a difficult relationship with their parents. They often felt rejection, abandonment, betrayal, shame, and injustice. So some people experience a combination of those wounds. So tumor manifests after they suppress these feelings and reach their emotional limit. Cancer patients are often caring, dutiful, responsible, and hardworking people. So they have a strong tendency to carry other people's burdens and often worry for others. Because they often didn't receive the parents' love, they need to make others happy. So many cancer patients harbor long suppressed toxic emotions such as anger, resentment, and hostility. So because of this emotional trauma, they react adversely to stress and are bad at dealing with it. Dr. Rutger Hammer is the founder of New German Medicine. So he discovered a connection between cancer and unresolved emotional conflict. So he was able to interview and do CT scans of thousands of cancer patients. So his research led him to discover how emotional trauma affects the brain. So he called these psycho-emotional traumas hammerheads. Every cancer starts with a painful, acute, traumatic and isolating shock. So according to Dr. Hammer, once a perceived conflict or trauma occurs, it impacts the body in a particular way. The brain cells affected by the shock relate to the specific organ which it controls. So Dr. Hammer analyzed the data he got when he interviewed cancer patients. So he soon found certain patterns. Every breast cancer patient, for example, had a hammerhead in the same spot in the brain, and they experienced the same kind of inner conflict. So the traumatic event that triggers cancer growth is often beyond the patient's control, such as the loss of a loved one, business, job, home, or some other disaster. People with cancer often overreact to most difficulties in life and feel stressed out, so the hypersensitivity to life's events makes one more receptive to cancer. So Dr. Hammer proposed different emotional causes of various kinds of cancer. So he didn't offer one cause for leukemia, so I took the freedom to look at other sources to find the emotional connection to leukemia cancer. So two books I used was You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay and Your Body is Telling You to Love Yourself by Lise Bourbeau. So these books talk about the emotional connection to various cancers. According to Louise Hay, leukemia is due to brutally killing of inspiration. What is the use? And blood disorders happen in people that feel lack of joy, lack of circulation of ideas. White blood cell problems signify difficulty in standing up for yourself. A white blood cell count that is too high indicates an aggressive personality, so you are quick to take offense. If your white blood cell count is high, you have to realize that you don't need to work hard for others to love you, so your body is telling you to love yourself first. So stop seeking others' love and find it within. Leukemia can also cause anemia. So anemia is when you have a low number of red blood cells. Red blood cells distribute oxygen to the cells throughout the body. In metaphysics, blood represents the love of life. An anemic person has lost his love of life and becomes discouraged and feels hopeless. So they have lost touch with their needs and desires. So if you also suffer from anemia, you need to shape your life the way you want, without depending on others. So you have to become conscious of the negative thoughts that are pushing your joy away from you. Some good books I recommend to leukemia patients are The Power of Full Engagement by Jim Lohr and Tony Schwartz. So the authors show why managing energy, not time, is the key to health, happiness and life balance. So in this book, the authors talk about the 4 types of energy: mental, physical, emotional and spiritual energy. So when these energies are in balance, you feel physically energized, emotionally connected, mentally focused and spiritually aligned. In the first part of the book, they talk about these 4 energies. And in the second part of the book, you learn a step-by-step program to utilize these principles. This book provides a life-changing roadmap to becoming more fully engaged in life. So another book I recommend is The Pathfinder by Nicholas Lohr. The Pathfinder offers advice on how to create a career that you love. So you learn how to design a new career that fits your talents, personality, needs, goals and values. So when you do something you love, you get more energy and search for life. Another book I recommend is Witchcraft: How to Get What You Really Want by Barbara Scheer. So this book is similar to Pathfinder, So you discover your passions, skills, and diagram the path to your goal. You also learn how to create a support network of contacts and sources to create a fulfilling life. The last book I recommend you to read is The Tapping Solution by Nick Ortner. So the tapping solution teaches you how to start using the powerful practice of tapping. It is also called Emotional Freedom Technique, EFT. So tapping is one of the fastest and easiest ways to fix the emotional and physical problems you have. EFT is a technique where you tap on specific points on the body while focusing on a problem. The tapping calms the nervous system and restores the body's energy balance. You can find the links to the books in the description below. To learn more about how stress causes cancer, please watch this video I did earlier. So there are several causes of leukemia. One of them is our diet. So the Western diet we eat today is full of unhealthy foods like fast food, meat, dairy, and processed food. So countries with high intake of meat and dairy products have a high incidence of cancer. Humans are plant eaters, not meat eaters. Our bodies can't handle animal products, so several components in meat increase the risk of cancer. So these include IGF-1, HGAs, and heme iron. Insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, is a cancer-promoting growth hormone. IGF-1 in the body increases when we consume animal protein. So vegans have much lower circulating IGF-1 than meat eaters. Heterocyclic amines, HAs, are chemicals formed in meat or animal protein during cooking. So they develop when you prepare meat at a high temperature or over an open flame. So all these toxic things don't exist in vegan food. So several studies show that vegans have less cancer than meat eaters. So if you want to lower your risk of leukemia, then you should eat a whole food plant-based diet. So watch this video to learn more about eating a healthy plant-based diet. Vitamin D is essential to our health, so the sun is the greatest source of vitamin D. If you sunbath in moderation, being in the sun is good for you and has many health benefits. It boosts the immune system, reduces the risk of cancer, and creates healthy bone. So many studies show that vitamin D has a positive effect on cancer. So if you stay inside a lot, try to be in the sun more. So getting enough sleep is vital to good health. So the lack of sleep is the reason why many have little energy. So immunity goes down as fatigue increases. So this makes your body worse at defending against bacteria, microbes, and viruses. So in humans and animals, melatonin secretes during darkness. So melatonin regulates sleep, blood pressure, and other body function. So low levels of it in the blood increase the risk of cancer. Light during the night messes with the biological clock in the brain, making the body believe that it's day when it's actually dark outside. Suppressing the natural cycles of the body make it harder for the body to fight cancer. So we live in a toxic world, so heavy metals can increase your risk of cancer. So there are many sources of heavy metals. These include smoke from cars, industrial waste which leaks heavy metals to our groundwater, lakes, streams, and rivers. Heavy metals can also find its way in the body by eating fish, breathing toxic workplace air, or smoking tobacco. Amalgam tooth fillings contain mercury. Mercury is the most toxic natural substance on Earth. So the heavy metal used in tooth fillings corrodes in time when there is a concentration of air and moisture. So if you have amalgam fillings, then it's good that you remove them. But you have to do it with caution, so choose a biological dentist that protects you during the removal of amalgam. So never use a dentist that doesn't know what he's doing. Today you learned that leukemia is cancer of the blood cells. Blood cancer starts in the bone marrow, the soft tissue inside most bone. Bone marrow is where the body makes blood cells. So when you have leukemia, your body produces more white blood cells than it needs. So over time, leukemia cells can crowd out the healthy blood cells. Experts group leukemia in how fast it develops and the type of blood cells involved, usually myeloid or lymphoid. And then you discover what causes leukemia. Many cancer patients harbor long suppressed toxic emotions such as anger, resentment, or hostility. Every cancer starts with a painful, acute, dramatic, and isolating shock. Leukemia patients often feel a lack of joy in life. Eating meat increases your risk of leukemia cancer. Meat carries IGF-1, HGAs and other toxic agents. A lack of sunshine increases your risk of cancer. Not getting enough sleep makes your body worse at defending against bacteria, microbes and cancer. Heavy metals in fish, toxic workplace air or smoked tobacco can increase your chance of cancer. So after watching this video, I hope you discover that if you learn the causes of leukemia and how to fix them, you have a better chance of surviving cancer. If you enjoyed this video, then press the like button and subscribe to this channel. Please share this message on Facebook and Twitter to your family and friends. So visit our blog at cancerwisdom.net to learn non-toxic ways to treat cancer. On our homepage you can also download our free guides about diet, detox and emotional healing. So thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.